Hi guys, good evening, akaba, aloha, sanu, bonjour, how you doing, wagwan, all of that. Welcome to the 3D show with myself, Desire. I'm your humble host, your fleeky host, and all of the above. Guys, I'm so excited as always to be here with you. It's Friday, it's 6 p.m. We're live here on Ntitiapa TV. You know what that means. The conversation is about to be deep, is about to be, inspiring, is about to just be amazing, because this is a 3D show and we only do amazing stuff here. Thank you for tuning in. I'm joined in the studio by an amazing brother of mine. I think if you watch the 3D show, you know that, I'm surrounded by great people, I always say, because most of my guests I grew up with and we're all doing amazing things. I thank God every single day for, my circle of friends and the people that I grew up with, because that saying that goes, your net worth is your network. So, if you didn't know that, thank me for telling you. If you're in a circle where nobody's achieving anything, maybe you need to rethink that circle, move yourself away, get yourself in a better position so you can come back and inspire your circle of friends. I never say, I always say, don't throw people away just because they're not where you want them to be, or where you want where they want to be. It doesn't mean that they're useless. They're just not being inspired. So if you're there and you don't feel inspired, move away. Align yourself with people that are gonna inspire you, that are gonna push you. And when you are at a place where you feel like you can inspire your group of friends, you come back and then you pay it forward. So it's never okay to throw people away, but you always have to put yourself first in everything you do. I mean, I'm the queen of selfish. That's the only way I can move up in life, because nobody's gonna hand anything to me. So on that note, I actually have Ray Safer in the studio with me. I'm just gonna skip over the hot topics for today, because the conversation we're about to have is very deep, is very educational, and I want to get your views on what he does today. I feel like social media is filled with motivational speakers. Hell, I'm one of them. If you want to know if I'm going through a breakup, just read my post. If you want to know if I've won the lottery, whatever, read my post, because I am full of inspirational quotes when my heart is broken. This is when I was single, but we will talk about that very, very soon. But social media is filled with motivational speakers. Are you inspired by them? Do they do anything for you? Do you wake up and say, I'm gonna go to this person's post because they boost my confidence, they boost my morale? Or do you just read all these posts and think, I wonder if they live up to what they're preaching about? And this comes off the back of the famous Derek Jackson, the love guru, who we found out last week has been cheating on his wife all through their 14-year relationship. But we can't brush everybody with the same stroke. So today we're about to find out from somebody that is actually doing it himself, and let's hear from him. How many people he's touched. Is he touching people, or is he just speaking into the air and hoping somebody is grabbing onto it? So guys, we're going to take a very quick break, and then when we come back, I will introduce our guest for today. He's actually in the studio with us, guys. Oh my God, it's so exciting to have human interaction today. So stay put, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break. See you soon.
Offer, Major say, me oh, yes, my now only certificate. Offer, we are going to pay a certificate. Oh, offer, for part, you to come on this certificate. ITS Pro Center. I'm feeling now. Shani Padu, I tell you. Gonna problem is a pay. And they are young. We are so probably no for Canada was my car. Would you pay money? Now, can you say, would you 12 bros? I would tell him. And sign that man any ITS Pro Center. ITS Pro Center. Me, find it is pro. I just say, yeah, you're teaching crop for your mount SIA license. Now, but with your security, now they are compared you. Because the net and conform, Eduma sign no one yet, but be a make up from our ITS Pro Center. And what any better amount here by 4 days perfect. Not on account certificate. Eti adatina esa was the one I catch up so near my ITS Pro Training Center no. And ya SI nkwane you. Ye CSCS card so account. CSCS card no. Just 1 day training pep. Now we use what? Unsabasa account health and safety certificate so. And what why dey? And if you go for a jawi, omo bi training. Omo akwa shage ma say site. And me no gana for. What why dey? And then you want to make a Bomodia na free. Our son numbers we so. Phone number no 079 04 68 6944 079 04 68 6944. Bomodia na free in the year. ITS Pro Training Center. Address 453 to 457 First Floor, Libridge Road, E10 7E. Buses do one fa ho. Bomodia na brand ya. Enti amfa wo se wo yo ba. Mo so betimi awura construction na security. Enti wo de afraye na ye ka wo kasa. Ye sa te wo kasa so. Training center we. Na sa training center we. Tu ya, wo sa be ka certificate na wo ya ko yi aduma. No ba se.
Hi guys, welcome back to the 3D show with myself, Desire. I'm your humble host. And yes, we are joined today in the studio by Big M. This is what I call him. But no, his professional name is Ray Sefa. But he will say Ray Sefa. Hey, I'm Brofomba we. But yeah, so basically, Ray is a life coach and he's a youth mentor, and he actually owned a car shop, like fixing shop or something, luxury. Hey, open Range Rover, go there, Porsche. What? This is where he does it, and then he actually he's a playwright as well. I will share some of his work with you. And then I know him and a group of friends have set up an organization called Step Now. I hope I've got it right. Yeah, Step Now. And, he's doing a whole lot of things. And it's very inspirational because obviously we know what's happening in London, every summer with, the black youth. Anybody that gets stabbed is this black boy, that black boy, this black boy. So I think it's very, very important that we see a lot of our youth doing great things out there and moving away from the stereotypical notion that every black boy that grows up in London is going to end up in prison, is going to end up stabbing people or just being a whole maniac. So let's find out from him if he was once on the streets and how he came out of that life, and how did he get into youth mentoring. Hell, he's a youth himself. He's very good looking, ladies. So if you're interested, please comment down below. Ray, welcome to the 3D show.
How are you?
I am great.
Good.
We're nearly out of lockdown, so
hopefully.
Yeah, I'm so excited to live my best life this summer. So welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm okay.
Okay, so let's get straight into it. Cool. Tell us about yourself. I've mentioned about 4 things that I know you do. Yeah. Are you still doing all of them?
Yeah.
What's happening?
No.
Tell us. Sell yourself to us.
Oh wow. My name is Ray Sefa, as she said. I am a life coach. I also own an organisation called Step Now. It's a youth organisation that teaches young people in schools and prisons mental health, careers, finance, and family and friends dynamics. Yeah. Away from that, I also am a founder of a car company called Prestige M.
Prestige M, yes.
I tint and wrap cars, and just more or less pimp my ride. Pimp my ride.
Hey. Okay. So, life coach. I mean, I just look at you and I'm like, what life have you lived? Right. Who are you coaching?
Right.
I'm not trying to downplay here. I mean, we have that banter between us, but you're very young.
Yep.
Again.
Yeah.
What life at all have you lived, and who are you coaching?
Right.
Tell us about that. Like, what gave you the confidence that I can do this, and where's that experience coming from to give to other people?
My journey.
Okay.
Yeah, just the journey. I feel like with life coach, it has to be authentic. I don't think you can study and do all of these things, and that's just me personally. Of course,
Okay.
other life coaches take different routes, but for me, I'm authentic with how I coach, and I let everybody know that this is my life experiences, and now I'm going to share it to you. Kind of like I found the cheat codes to life and the struggles that I've probably gone through to avoid you from going through them.
Okay.
This is how we're going to go through it. So yeah, just my journey really has taught me a lot of things along the way, and of course the education side, because I have obviously studied it and I'm studying it ongoing as well. So yeah, just my life journey and the education attached to it as
So
well.
I mean, you know what the next question is? What is this life journey? You
Right.
have to share a little bit of it with us.
Of course. Yeah, I'm very honest with my life journey. I don't believe there's things as like mistakes. I just see them as lessons. Yeah, I'm a South Londoner, born and raised in South London, single parent. My mother was a single parent up until I was about 10, and she remarried. The typical South London story: single parent, Ghanaian, black boy in a what's deemed as a violent area, or you know, and grew up loving football. Just such a South London journey, loving football. You know, you're part of the area gang, or the area culture, whatever you want to call it. It got to I would say about 16, 17, where I started wanted to become a bit more popular.
Okay.
You know, kind of like finding yourself, you know, trying to fit in.
Yeah.
Joining certain area groups, joining my area group, and also joining like my family groups, for example, like the Ghanaian older lot that you know, the Barber boys, or your family members that are doing a couple things. You just want to kind of fit in. At this time I was playing football at the same time, so I was torn between the two, where it's like I'm playing football but you're not earning that much, because at that young age you're only on small money, right? But then your family members or your friends who are a bit older that you're trying to fit in with are making a bit of, you know, a bit more money. So you're kind of like first stages of being introduced to money, but then you're playing football, you're trying to find yourself, and obviously naturally you pick the money side.
Yeah.
So I started affiliating myself with older brothers, cousins, friends that were making a bit of money, and kind of a sense of belonging.
Ray, please, let's talk plainly.
Yeah.
Making money.
Yeah.
Are they doing papa movements,
Right.
or are we doing 9 to 5?
Okay, yes.
Let's talk plainly.
Okay. I didn't know if the space was...
Oh, the space is very clear.
free, no
A
problem.
demo.
Yeah.
Talk to us.
No sweat. Yeah, it was unlegitimate money.
Okay.
Yeah, for me personally, I got involved in it just plain and simple, trying to find myself, you know, trying to fit in, and kind of a sense of a belonging, you know, and also I done it with a couple of my cousins, so it was like big bros, you know.
Yeah.
And coming from, I'm honest with this, like I never had a father figure, like a proper one. Obviously my mum remarried and stuff, and bless him, you know, he came in and done a job, but as in like proper father figure, I never had that. So when my cousins and my brothers and my friends that were older than me were doing certain things, they kind of like showed me how to be a man. Of course it was unlegit
Because they've
ways,
been there.
of course. And even though they were doing unlegitimate stuff, like subconsciously they were also like navigating me through life. Now I'm not here to condone illegitimate stuff, but I was taken away from the money. I was taking like the ground rules, because there's a lot of things you learn on the streets.
Loyalty.
Of course.
Like, you know.
100%. So I was learning different things. Obviously they didn't know that. They just think I'm here to make money, but I was subconsciously learning of how to be a man, because I never had the father figure. And those things that I was doing, it wasn't like I wasn't no gangbanger, like, you know, shooting people, whatever. I was doing kind of like the fraud side of things, and which some people would deem as like the low level crime, because there's no violence involved, right? So while I was doing that, I was learning how to handle money. I was learning a lot of different traits, as I said, that maybe I didn't learn when I was younger, because I never had the father figure.
Yeah.
And the people that I was doing it with, they kind of looked after me.
Okay.
Like they weren't grooming me, or they weren't like, you know what I mean, taking advantage. Like they were treating me like their little brother. So they taught me a lot. But if I'm honest with you, while I was doing all of that, I know where I always came from.
Right.
So I'm Ghanaian, raised with my grandma and my mum. I got loads of siblings, brothers, cousins, aunties, and I've always known that I wasn't raised, and I weren't, you know, some people, they're born and they're in it. They that's their forte, whatever. I always knew that I'm doing it, I'm making money from it, I'm doing well in it, but it's not for me. I always knew that there was more potential to it, but I never had the courage to kind of step away.
Okay.
Because the money's coming in, you're getting the girls, you're getting the clout, should I say, you know? So you're kind of, you've got this name like Big M, for example.
Yeah.
I started I started believing in that name, started believing that out of ego. But then it's only until my sister that's directly above me, her partner passed away in 2000 and I think it was 11 or 12.
Yeah.
And she was pregnant at the time. She was 6 months pregnant, and he passed away from the street life as well.
Right.
So that was a massive wake up call. But he had a daughter with her already that was 7. So as you can imagine, my sister's got a 7-year-old, and she's pregnant with a 6-month-year-old boy. Now that's the turning point for me, because she's pregnant with a boy, right? And she's a South Londoner as well. And I'm sitting there thinking, another statistic can be created if we're not careful. You know, I never had a dad like my sister. Her partner, who she's married, has now passed away. And you know, like, it just became, I could sense that.
Is it a cycle?
A cycle.
Yes.
You know, and if it is a cycle, cycles are there to be broken, right?
Yes.
So I consciously made the decision from that turning point that I've always known that this ain't for me. Nothing's ever pushed me to do it. Maybe this is my call. Because you know, like, most people come off the streets either going to jail or getting shot or losing someone. For me, I didn't want to wait for that to happen. You know, like, I learn of other people's mistakes. So for me, it was like, I don't want it to become too late. My sister's pregnant, the child's coming. This is my chance to kind of break the cycle or give my nephew a better role model. You know, I didn't know what it looked like at the time. I'm not gonna lie to you and be like I had some map or some road plan. I didn't, but I just thought, you know what, the biggest part is to start. So I stopped everything. It was a conscious decision. I spoke to my partners at the time, my cousins, my brothers, whoever I was doing things with. I told them I'm not in this no more. As I said, I didn't have a plan, but I did have one friend who I called. He's like, you know, you've always got that one friend who they know how to get you a job, regardless of what it is. It could be a cleaner, it could be whatever. So I called him up and I said to him, bro, this is what I'm doing now. I need help getting a job. He automatically laughed, because bearing in mind, all I'd been doing was fraud and all these unlegitimate activities. So when I said I wanted to stop, it was a massive shock to him. But being the friend he is, he bantered me, but then said, let's get to business, and he got me a job. Now, he got me an agency job.
Okay.
And with this agency job, I used to deliver cars to people. So if you was to buy a car, I'll be the one that delivers it to your door.
Okay.
So some would deem it as like a low-level job, or a job that kind of like a water boy, you know.
A job is a job.
A job is a job. And I was desperate to just get a job, you know. But as you can imagine, with a job like that, you know, you got people talking to you anyhow. Oh, park it there.
Yeah. So coming from, I've got my own money, got my own, I call the shots to a certain level.
I wake up when I want, you know, I dictate what I earn.
It's a shift.
It was a massive shift psychologically and mentally. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of ego was attached to what I was doing before.
Right.
So then coming on this like Big M, this road man, you know, making money, doing whatever, to then come into delivering cars to people where they're telling you park it over there or whatever. Massive shock. Massive shock. But you know, still, as I said, I had a plan that no matter what, this is my new way. So funny enough, I'm a big believer. I believe in God. I'm gonna throw it out there early, and I do feel like my journey is God written 100%. Doing it, even though my ego was getting tampered with and I was getting a bit frustrated and stuff, I always had belief that if I make this decision, some way down the line, it will pay off. It will pay off. Because naturally, I've always heard, when you're young, you always hear consistency, discipline, all of these things, right? So, and sacrifice. And obviously the sacrifice was me stopping. So now, I believe in discipline, sacrifice, and consistency is the 3 keys to success, right? So I'd made the sacrifice by stopping. It was a massive sacrifice, right? So then the 2 things for me would have been consistency and discipline. So for me, it's like, if I quit now, I've cut out the consistency part. Of course. So what I did, I stuck at it. Now, funny enough, about 6 months into the job, even though I was getting frustrated and I was getting spoken to anyhow, I met a guy. His name's Freeman, Ghanaian guy. And he's very well linked. I'm not going to say what he did or whatever. Very well linked. And I was on the phone to my mum one day, and I was speaking to her in Tree. And he heard this conversation, and he was like, you speak Tree? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, but you look British. And I was like, yeah, I am. I'm born and bred here. How can you speak Tree? And I said to him, I'm going to be honest with you. The people I was hanging around with, like my older cousins and stuff, they used to always speak Tree. But I couldn't speak it. So when they're speaking, I used to think, like, are these guys laughing at me? Are they talking about me? So I consciously learned. And one of my cousins, you know him, he actually taught me Tree. Obviously with the help of parents and going back to Ghana, of course. But I initially, he actually taught me Tree from scratch. And
my best friend?
Yes. Taught me Tree, and it helped me. But then he heard me on the phone to my mum, this guy called Freeman, and was like, you speak Tree, I'm impressed. How does a young boy like you who's born here, you know, speak Tree so fluently and be proud to speak it? And I told him the situation. I said, you know, I learned it only a couple years ago because of whatever. And he was actually impressed by it. He was like, wow, because he actually has kids. He's gone. He's like, my kids don't want to learn Tree. When you come here, you want to be British. You know what I'm saying? So he was really, really impressed that I'm a young boy that's English, that can speak Tree, and just that's willing to. Do you know what I'm saying? And he was impressed by that. So he said to me, do you know what? You're clearly a smart lad. To want to learn a language at such a late age, it must take intelligence. So I'm going to help you get a better job, because you're wasting your brain capacity by doing this driving job, because all it is just driving, right?
Yeah.
There's you're not using your brain.
You're not being pushed or challenged or
right. Now, bearing in mind, I'm coming from the streets. When someone says they're going to help you, more time they ain't. So I didn't take it as gospel. I just said, okay, cool. Gave him my number. Now, about a year later, he calls me. And he stuck to his word, and he did help me. He got me a job in Ferrari.
Okay.
So yeah, I worked in Ferrari for a while. I worked there for about a year. And then after Ferrari, I went into a training course to Bentley.
Okay.
We thank God for Freeman's life. We thank God for the blessings. But yeah, long story short, I worked for Ferrari for a year. Then I went to Bentley training. And then funny enough, I then went on to work for, you know, the company I was a driver for. I actually went on to work for them.
Okay.
So I actually got employed after Bentley. I actually got employed by them. They were Toyota. So it's like the long way around that I was a driver for them, but now I'm actually employed by them, because it was an agency before. So I've gone from an agency driver to then working for Ferrari, to then working for Bentley, gaining experience in the motor trade, and then I've actually come back to getting employed by Toyota. Now, when I got employed by Toyota, obviously working, now I'm an established working class man. I haven't got no more trauma.
Levels don't change.
The levels change, right? Now, as I was working through Toyota, picking up rapport, you're in the motor trade now. I started working with a couple people that would, you know, just a handyman in that environment, and I started building good relationships with them. Because I'll tell you one thing: when you're on the streets, even though you're making unlegit money, you speak well, like you network a lot, because you got to feed into people,
and you learn sales.
100%. I learned a lot of sales. I learned how to negotiate.
I'm not saying I'm from the streets or from the shop, please.
I learned a lot of sales.
I
learned how to negotiate. And your confidence levels is high, because you're always speaking to new people. So networking was never a problem for me. So when I was in the motor trade, I networked with more or less everybody that's in the trade. And I then went on to create Prestige M. I linked up with two of my guys that I was doing the handyman stuff with. And we just became partners through networking, so I kind of like transitioned the skills I learned on the streets into in the corporate world or the working world. And I liaised with people, and it worked. I liaised with them, became partners with them, and that's how I created Prestige M. So Prestige M, we tint, we wrap, we basically just customize cars, and that was all built from the motor trade and my connects, and obviously linking up with the finances and stuff like that. So that's how I created Prestige M. Now, the reason why I called it Prestige M, as you know, my name was Big M. But I wanted to not change who I am. What I wanted to do is trying to show people that you can make a negative into a positive and still stay who you are, but just transition it in the right way. So everything I was doing on the streets, yes, it was negative, but there was some good traits within that that I could utilize in the real world that could change it into a positive. Now that comes on to how everything then unfolded. So when I created Prestige M, it was doing really, really well. A lot of people were inspired by it, especially knowing what I used to do and stuff. They were like, wow, like he actually, you know, has a business and it's legit. And, you know, I was at an award ceremony. It was like a award ceremony sort of thing. In my second year of Prestige M, I got called up by a good friend of mine to come and, you know, showcase it. Like it was like a presentation, right? And at that presentation, there was a speaker there, and he said one quote. He said, "When you pass, what do you want to be known for?" Because when you die and people are speaking at eulogy,
what legacy?
You know, what legacy? How do you want to be known for? No one's gonna say, "Oh, that guy that had 4 houses." Do you know what I mean? And that hit me hard. I actually went.
Or the guy that had 20 girlfriends.
Do you know? Or something.
Or
nothing
Gucci watches and Rolexes.
Right. Nothing materialistic gets mentioned when you're on the billboard on your eulogy. It's only how you was as a person that gets spoken about.
The impact you had. Yes.
Right. So that day was a massive turning point. Even though I'd achieved a lot of stuff, that was all still materialistic, because the business is materialistic. It's not the business I was in anyway. It's not. Do you know what I mean? So that day was a turning point for me. I was with one of my friends and it hit both of us. It was like, for real, if we was to go today, other than obviously the business of the car and the street stuff that we did or the football that we played, what have we done for humanity? And it was that day that me and my pal and a couple of my other friends said, we're going to create Step Now. Step Now, obviously, is the youth organisation that goes into schools and prisons, helping young people with life skills. And that was the reason why we started it, because I sat there and thought, yes, I've achieved so much of Prestige and Ferrari, Bentley and Toyota, like getting into that. But not everyone's as fortunate as me that can make it out like that. You know, there's a lot of people in similar situations like me in them areas that don't know the way out. So for me, it was like, okay, somebody helped me come out, which was Freeman. He gave me that opportunity and I thrived in it and I'm doing well in it and I've understood that world. Let me also be like Freeman, but not just help one person, help the masses. Do you know? And it's a cliche saying, people always say, oh, you made it and you come out of the hood. For me, it was like, people say that materialistically, like you go and buy a house far away. For me, it was like, I'm still going to do that. Don't get me wrong. I'm still going to come out the hood. I'm still going to change the way I am. But I'm not going to forget people there. And I'm not going to forget their circumstances. I'm going to try my hardest to bring them with me. Not like with me to the countryside, but mentally bring
not
them
rent
with me.
free to my house.
Right. Do you know what I mean? But show them everything that I had to go through, the discipline, the consistency, the drive. Because I've skimmed through the story, but I had to work my socks off to get to where I was through Ferrari. You can imagine, I'm young, I'm black, I'm in Ferrari, I'm in Bentley, I'm in Toyota. Like, these are big companies.
Of course.
So I've skimmed through the story, but there was a lot of sacrifice, a lot of adapting to do, you know, culture shocks.
A lot of ridicule, like I can imagine, because obviously you've come from a comfortable life to now you're waiting on pennies from someone to give you a handout. So obviously I'm sure there was temptations to go 100%. Back. I'm sure obviously when your sisters now had a child, you know, pressures. The older one, there's a baby, there's expenses, they're pulling you, your mum is pulling you, probably your girlfriend is pulling you. But like, I mean, if you guys are watching, you know, you are tuned into the 3D show with myself, Desire, and our guest is Ray Sifa. He's just telling us about his journey, you know, how he's made it out of the hood, you know, out of the streets. But he didn't just leave, you know, he's telling us about his journey of how he's made it out. And now he's now got to a place where, you know, he now wants to bring other people along with him. So, you know, I mean, you're right. You know, you have gone through a whole lot.
It was mentally challenging.
So how did we, because I just think it's so astonishing, because I feel like it takes a lot of, not just courage, because you have that, you know, but it takes a lot of confidence to say that, and dare I say audacity to say that, you know, I mean, I'm okay to the point where I can advise you. You know, a lot of the times it's very egotistical for people to just like impose their views and opinions on other people. But the way you are doing it, you're not trying to impose, you're trying to impact
100%.
other people. So where did that confidence come from?
For me, is what I was exposed to.
Okay.
I got a massive statement, and maybe your followers and everyone that's watching, it might impact them too. I believe that a stretched mind from new experiences can never go back to its old dimensions.
Okay.
And I feel like that's one of the main issues I personally had when I was young. I wasn't exposed to much. Holidays, for example, it was either Ghana or a family place in America. So even though
you even went to America,
right? Do you know what I'm saying? So, and I know that's a luxury.
No wonder you're prestige.
You know, so
even Ghana, when you get there, you're sitting in Tema.
Of course,
you pass for Accra. That's
literally, and whatever you're eating here and you're doing here, you're doing the exact same there. So it's not really a holiday. It was just different houses, you know. So for me, I felt like people in my environment, people from my culture. I don't know about other cultures, of course. I can't speak on them.
No, but you know, a lot of even our brony friends, a lot of them didn't even have passports until we got to uni, and then that whole craze of Ibiza came.
Right,
do you remember?
Yeah, 100%.
Like
100%.
I think around 2008.
Yes.
Them times when everyone in uni wanted to go to Ibiza, and Amsterdam, and all of that. 100%.
So for me, it was like the lack of exposure for different experiences, you know, my culture was just the same, you know. All I knew was Ghanaians, all I knew was my area friends, and stuff like that. When I got exposed to Ferrari, for example, when I got exposed to Bentley, when I got exposed to Toyota, when I got exposed to the working life, the things I saw, the things I got taught, the things that I learned,
the people you met,
it changed. As I said in my statement, new experiences, you can never go back to your old dimension. Now my example to that will be like this, right? When you're young, you normally drink tap water naturally. Then we get older and we start going to restaurants, and then we start getting bottled water. Like, I can speak for myself, and I'm sure pretty soon just much the same. We don't drink tap water no more.
Oh, no.
Do you know what I mean? because our minds have been exposed to a new experience that is unless it's desperate measures, you would never drink tap water again. Because your mind, the way the mind works is once it's exposed to something, it can't be undone. And that's how I felt like when I got exposed to, like, what I would say the corporate world or the working world or just the world basically. I was like, these people need to see this. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's definitely not egotistic. It's definitely not about me. It's, guys, like, I've seen the cheat codes. Come, let's see it together. Do you know what I mean? Because that was my issue. I've always been smart. I've always known I can do better, but I didn't know what is better. I didn't know what it looked like.
This is it.
Do you see it? So when I went to them places and I'm seeing normal people working in these places, they're not stronger than me, they're not better than me, they're not smarter than me. All it is they've been exposed to it earlier than me. So when I realized that, I was like, I need to bring my people and let them see and let them understand that you can do this too, if you're just given the chance. But not just the chance, they've just shown the way, the route. So that's why for me, it's important with Step Now, all my life coaching, to show people the routes. And it's basic things like discipline, consistency, sacrifice. How bad do you want it? Because it's easy for me, for example, to be a statistic and say, oh, I never grew up with a dad, that's why I'm now a gangbanger. Do you know what I mean? It's so we can say that all day. But how bad do you want to?
And we do say that all day.
Do you know what I mean? Because I'm a product of my environment, all of that. But I have a choice to change that. Do you know what I mean? My dad isn't present, or whatever you want to call it. He hasn't been since birth. But I don't want to just live life with that stigma and not change it. It's my life, it's my choice. You know, when you're a kid, you have no control over it. But from 16 plus, yes, your dad wasn't there. Yes, you grew up in a dangerous environment, but that doesn't define you.
This is it.
You know, so
someone else's choice shouldn't define you.
You know, I'm grateful he had me. I'm healthy. He had me. Yes, whatever happened, he wasn't there, and that's where it is.
That has nothing to do with me.
Do you know what I'm saying? It's how I end it. That's the most important. The start was not my control. How I end it is my control. So for me, it was just helping young people in similar situations understand that this situation you're in doesn't define you, and these are the ways how we can come out of it by sacrificing something, because it will take sacrifice. I'm not going to sit here on your platform and tell you that it's been hunky-dory. It takes sacrifice.
It never is.
Doing certain things, like, it sounds great when I tell people I've got this business and I've got that business. I've sacrificed a lot. As you mentioned, family. Like, I've sacrificed seeing the kids, my mom, you know, sacrificed stopping to be able, like, I had to remove myself from some friendship circles in order to not have temptation. Because my friends didn't stop with me. They were still doing what I was living with someone that was still doing it. So I had to remove myself, and that takes discipline.
Of course.
Some people want to change their mindsets, but they don't want to change their environment. Do you know what I'm saying? So I kind of wanted to start an organization to help the young people, not just physically give them ways, because I give people opportunities as well, but mentally change it. Because I can give you a job, right? I can come with me to Ferrari or come work for Prestige M, but that's you physically going there. But if your mindset is still, you know, on the streets,
gonna end up robbing me.
Not even that, you just won't turn up. The consistency's not there. The mindset to understand how this works and the progression and all of these things, it's not gonna work. So for me, it was creating a platform for young people to understand physically and mentally the transition on how to become an adult. You know, literally give them the skills, the life skills, because schools don't teach us life skills.
No.
You know, schools
and you know,
teach you.
A lot of the times parents don't teach us certain life skills, because for children of immigrants, they grew up back home.
100%.
They didn't grow up here. So the challenges that we're facing, you know, I mean, I'm sure your mum will be shocked if she's hearing your testimony and your journey now, because she's like, when Kwabena, your older cousin, so this is what he was teaching you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you've explained, he wasn't yeah, it wasn't the greatest
Yeah.
thing, but he was still teaching
Of
you how to
course,
be a
how to
man, but
live.
it wasn't in the greatest package, you know. So it's like the challenges that we face, they can't relate to it.
No. And I
So
would never
they will
blame
come
them.
with, you know, oh, you're possessed, or boy,
Yeah,
you don't
they
respect,
don't understand
you
the
know,
culture.
this, that, and it's like, how do we navigate through all of that? Because a lot of the times,
Wicked.
a lot of these young people feel so alone.
Of course.
And this is why they end up going to their friends
Yeah.
for advice.
Yep.
And you know, they seek solace in the older person on the block who is the drug lord.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and then we wonder why our children are dying so
Right.
young.
Yep.
But so in your opinion, how do we build that bridge
Right.
between, you know, our parents
Mm-hmm.
or our elderly and then ourselves in
Right.
order to stop our children or, you know, our peers
Yeah.
getting the wrong advice and getting the wrong kind
Right,
of
right.
examples?
This is deep what you're saying, and it's up to you if your platform wants me to hit deep and tell the truth.
No, you have to. I mean,
Right.
that's what this is. The 3D show. The 3D show stands for your decision today
Yeah.
determines your destiny for tomorrow.
100%.
So this is what it's all about. Because I feel like it's our responsibility
Yeah.
to help our
yeah,
generation and
100%.
our next generation.
100%. The reality is, and I'm gonna be honest with it, there's a lot of trauma in terms of the generation that's come before us, my parents, your parents, and this is not a blaming game as a disclaimer, right? Not at all, because our parents done a wicked job. Coming over from Africa in them times there, where there was racism,
Yeah.
where there was, you know, we're not talking the racism we're facing now, we're
Nah.
talking proper racism, you know.
You
and they
black
came-
monkey,
Oh,
like
different level,
physical,
you know.
they're verbal about
Do you know
it.
what I mean? So our parents came over on a time where racism was severe. They came on a time, probably a lot of them came with no, you know, Enkrata or what we call passports, whatever, you know. So them coming over, I credit them 100%. But they brought over the mentality of their country that they came from into a westernized world. So for example, people like me and you that were schooled here, we're going to school and we're with Billy, Jane, Henry. They've grown up with love, experiences, care, a lot of things, right? And we're being brought up in a Ghanaian mentality or whatever African country we're from. Now, as we know, our parents and our culture, they love us, but it's a different sort of love.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Our parents ain't gonna sit down with
I'm
us.
working 3 jobs to put the roof over your head. So,
Right.
you know, you do what I say. And
Exactly.
it's like, well, I need help with my homework.
Do you know, I need, forget even homework, you know, and this is another thing I want to touch on. Like, we always focus on like homework and academics.
Yeah.
I need help with life. Forget, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I need help. I'm trying to find myself. I want someone to talk to.
Yes.
Forget the homework. That's another level.
Yeah.
I just want to talk to my parent.
Just interpersonal relationships. I want to
know?
be seen.
Yes.
You know, I'm here.
Yes.
You know, and oh God,
You
this
know?
conversation is giving me goosebumps.
100%.
It is giving me goosebumps because this is what is leading to so many women, so many young girls giving themselves up
100%.
so young.
100%.
And you know, it's so sad because right now, unfortunately or fortunately, because of social media, is putting a lot of girls in danger. Because by the time, you know, you're at home and you start puberty, and you know, like a lot of parents don't even take their children through how to clean yourself during your period.
100%.
How to for them. Oh, here's FemFresh. Konako Jare, you have to bath twice a day. You have to do this. But have you taken
There's
the
no
time?
time. There's no time.
You know, their bodies are going through changes. Hormones are changing, and then like you said, they will meet Billy down the road. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. There's that program Chewing Gum
I haven't
with
seen it.
Michaela Cole. She's a
Right.
Ghanaian girl as well, and you know, it's like a little girl, you know, like she just wants to be seen.
just
A
wants to-
boy just wants to be heard. So if you know, I don't know, Jermaine on the block is saying, "Oh yeah, you know, how you doing?" Like,
Of
yeah,
course, you're
you,
gonna
like
feed
you know,
into
this
that.
is
It's
that.
attention. Yeah, it's the attention. We all attention.
They will now
seekers.
take that baton and be teaching your, and before you know it,
Someone else is
you
raising
know,
your
Kwesi
child.
is selling drugs. That wasn't his intention
No,
to
it
sell
wasn't.
drugs.
Not at all. It's not at all.
But every time they come to you, and I'm a brat, I'm tired.
'Cause she
I
is.
work 4 jobs.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do
yeah.
this, and it's like
100%. But you got to
they're,
deep
they're
it.
right.
Yeah.
We are right. But how do we
Right, we
find the
have to
middle
break that,
ground?
because you got to remember, with our parents, as I said, it's not a blaming game, because their parents same for them. My child school fees for the to translate. I've paid your in Ghana. Their parents said, "I've paid your school fees. That's enough. I've done you a favor."
Yeah.
So they were raised on that. So they've now tried to do that to us, where
Yes.
it's like, you know, I put a roof over your head. I've paid your school fees, and that's their way of learning. So I don't even fault them, because
No.
same thing I was saying about experiences. Your mind can only change when you're experiencing new things. That's their fixed mindset on. That's my love for you. I put a roof over your head.
Yeah.
I had you in this country. You know, so you're already.
Yeah.
They feel like they've done enough. And bless
I
them.
worked for my papers. You've got
Right.
it free. And
Do
it's
you know
like,
what
yo,
I'm
we're
saying?
grateful, but can I have a mummy
But
now?
and do you know what it is? Can,
Can I have a hug?
mummy? Like my friends I see in school, because I am from the UK. You did have me here, and I'm grateful for it. But I am seeing how it is here.
I just want a
Love
hug.
here is different.
I
Do you
just
know
want
what
a
I
hug.
mean? Now you speak on young girls, and it's
Yeah.
funny. I don't really talk on young girls because the majority of the people I work with are young boys. But it's true what you're saying. Now you deep this. An African family has come in. They're trying to hustle, free job. The dad's an Uber driver, for example, a taxi man. The mum's a nurse. They haven't got a lot of time because they're doing long shifts, whatever. Now, you got to remember something. A girl's first love will be her father.
Her father.
Yeah, unconsciously, whether people want to admit it or not, it's meant to be their father. How the father treats the mum, in terms of romance, dates, everything. The child, remember,
Yeah.
children unconsciously learn.
Of
They
course.
watch everything that's happening. We think we're smart. Children are times that by 10. Everything
My son is the smartest.
They're too smart.
He's
do you know?
amazing.
So you got to imagine, and I would be honest with my home dynamics. My stepfather wasn't the most romantic.
Are they ever?
Do you know what I mean? It's
Have
not
you
even
ever
just
seen your
him.
parents kiss?
Nothing at
Never.
all. Affection, romance, all of these things.
Yeah.
They're not normalized in our
You even
homes.
wonder how you have little sisters, because
Do
it's
you
like,
know,
when
because
do you
it's
have
like,
sex?
how did you even get so intimate
Yeah.
to
Do
have
you even
that?
fancy each other?
You know,
Bloody hell.
so growing up, my stepfather wasn't the most romantic to my mother. I thought that was normal, as you do, right? Now it's funny because 2 years ago, I was speaking to one of my sisters, and it was Valentine's Day, and I said to her, "Oh, are you not?" She's with someone, right? And I said to her, "Are you not going out?" She was like, "No, not really." And obviously in UK, that's a big thing. Like, you know, on social media, if your boyfriend don't get you something, you're in trouble. So I said to my sister, like, why ain't you bothered that you're not doing anything? She was like, no, it's cool, man. Like, it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I sat down and I thought, like, I've clocked, you guys don't travel much. You haven't, like, you're not bothered about Valentine's Day. Like, what do you think that's from? And we had an open conversation. She was like, do you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I've never deeped it, but it could be the fact that I never saw
it.
like,
you haven't seen
my
an
dad
example
never just
of it.
randomly said to my mum, you know, let's go and go restaurant, unless it was birthday or something major.
Hey, you people, you are very prestigious. Even birthday, you
might
will
not-
go.
Exactly. Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
So
could be that.
there was no kiss, there was no date night. Like, why would you date on a random night in a Ghanaian household? What? Like, that's unheard of.
What is date night?
What is
My
date
Wario,
night?
I paid your bride price.
That's it. I'm done. So
Yeah.
seeing that, my sister, who's now an adult, who's got kids, she openly said to me, I ain't bothered because it wasn't normalized to me. Now you deep another culture or whatever from young, you know, when Tracy's come home or Henry or whatever, they're seeing their mum and dad kiss at the door. There's a nanny coming to look after them on Friday night. Mummy, where you going? We're going cinema. No occasion.
Yeah.
It's not birthday. It's not Valentine. They're just having time alone, romance. So that kid, Tracy or Johnny or whoever it is, he's now picking up saying, when I have a partner, this is normal. I'm gonna take my wife out on Friday nights. I'm gonna speak to her well. I'm gonna kiss her. I'm gonna be affectionate to her because that is my new normal.
This is it.
But once again, it goes back to what I said. A stretched mind from new experiences can't go back to its old dimensions. So if we learn these things and we're exposed to these things and they become our norm, we now exercise them. But a lot of us are living our parents' mentalities because that was our norm.
That's what we've
But we're
seen.
doing that in a westernized world and it don't work. And that's why we clash. That's why we have traumas. And that's why we as young people that's born here, we're struggling. We won't admit it, but we're struggling. We're trying to fit in.
I
We're trying
admit
to-
all.
Do you
Because
know?
you see what you're saying, yeah? Obviously, where we've now grown up here, we've had obviously experiences,
Yeah.
you know, like dating experiences outside of the Ghanaian community.
Right.
And, you know, you've dated people that are affectionate, that are, you know, all these things. But then when it comes to marriage,
Yeah.
you now want to do the whole, I want to marry someone from my,
Your
you know,
culture, yeah.
like my culture and this, that. Now, like, this is a case where he's coming from a place where he never saw it.
No.
But then because you have been exposed to it, now you're bringing all this pressure onto
on
him
him, and he doesn't-
with you know, date night, you don't do this, and a date night. The poor guy is
doesn't
like,
have
what
a
the
clue.
hell is date
Yeah,
night?
it's not
Like,
normalised
you know,
to him.
I
Yeah.
came home, I brought Kenke, bro.
This is it. I
You
pay
know,
your bills.
I do chop money. Like,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? So I feel like it's very important for us to be having these open
100%.
dialogues,
It's
you know, where we
accountability.
can. And do you feel like, I feel like this is a way of us
Yeah, it's
understanding will kind of build the bridge,
yeah.
don't you think?
Understanding where you come from, why, understanding the why. You know, all of our behaviors are caused by something.
Yeah.
And you've got a deep. It's not a nice thing to do, by the way. Like looking at yourself and understanding why you do it. It can even bring you to tears because there's a lot of trauma.
But that's good.
But it's the only way we're gonna move
Yeah,
forward.
yeah.
Otherwise, we're gonna have kids. In your case, you had a child. If you don't break that cycle and deep down understand why am I like this? Why am I? You know, some people could be aggressive, for example.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of our mums speak to our dads a certain way.
Yes.
You know, or you know, do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if we don't sit
Or you
down,
see your older siblings speak to their children a certain,
way,
Like just
you know.
you know, are you
yeah,
Up or
just to
down?
pass the remote, your parent will be shouting at you.
Yeah.
"Yo, prefer remote to no
but you're in the kitchen, the remote
and
is
the remote is right here. So
it.
if we don't
We love
keep
you,
certain
we
things-
love you
we
guys.
love you, we love you parents, you know. But if us ones
just
that
be
are
doing
here,
a lot.
trust me, and bless them because that's what they thought was normal too. It's generational, and that's why I always say I never blame them because they only taught us what they thought was
Yeah,
normal too.
yeah,
But it's
yeah.
now us, the new generation or the ones that are born here that do read and we are a bit more educated. We have to be accountable and be like, okay, that was taught to me, but I do know better because I've seen better.
Yes.
You know, so I have
Yes.
to make a stopping gap and either get therapy or have discussions like this. Analyze that you have an issue, accept that you have an issue, and let's move from it.
Hey, from this thing, just I even want to ask you something based on just this thing, but our time is really, really going. Let me read a couple of comments. We've got Eva New Love. Hey girl.
Hey.
She says looking great as usual. Thank you so much. We've got Nana Kwejo Manlive who says wow, God bless you. Thank you so much. Nana
Thank
Kwame
you.
says wow, very good program, keep it up. Thank you. We've got Rosalind. He says she says, you know, Rosie, she says M is so deep. Yes, he
Thank
is.
you.
Listen.
Thank you.
Wait, am I older than you or what?
Yeah.
Oh, my little bro. We used to just be fooling around though. It says, yeah, he's more deep. Cry. I love it. I love it. Liziane says, great topic. Thank you so much, girl. Auntie Sarah says, love this topic. Thank you so much. Liziane has given us 100% as well. We don't have long, but I am definitely going to disturb you to come back again because, I mean, it like I feel like this is another way that we can make that impact as well for people to see,
Yeah, 100%.
you know, because and what I love about your change is not I'm better than you.
No, not at all.
I don't talk like you anymore. I'm now going to change the way I talk. I'm now going to change the way I dress.
No.
Like sometimes people make change look so scary
Yeah.
because it's like, but I like wearing trainers. But you know, since this person left the streets, it's they now wear gowns.
No.
Every day is suits. Do you
No, you don't have to
understand?
do that.
So I feel like it's what you're doing is really, really, really important. You spoke about obviously trauma and you know things like we know better because we've seen better. What about the argument that? Let me see the time. We've got 5 minutes to go, guys. Just bear with us. What about the argument that? Obviously, so are you saying that we should throw our culture and things away
No.
and pick up somebody's culture because we've been born and brought up in that?
Yeah.
So is it? I mean, it comes back to the whole don't smack your child. This is that. I'm of the belief that obviously our parents smacking us, they didn't kill us.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think anybody's parent picked up a chair to beat them up.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But yeah, a little smack here
Yeah,
and
of
there.
course. It doesn't do
you
no
know,
harm.
it doesn't do. But then you've got our counterparts that will say, hey,
Yeah.
and it will make you a psychopath.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it will
yeah,
make
yeah.
you this. It will make you that. So how would you advise us to obviously consciously find that pick? You know,
Yeah.
like the good or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
and then marry it, but then without losing ourselves.
Yeah, 100%.
as well.
That's a good question. You. See this word "you," or in if we're talking about ourselves, I. Yeah. I believe we're in a generation now where we just follow. None of us have, like, God first of all, God made us
We
all
attach
as individuals.
identity to how many people.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how many people are doing it? Do you know what I mean? Now,
You're
God made
preaching
every
today.
single one of us individually. Yeah, we're all, even twins, they're all separate. One lacks
Yeah.
rock, one lacks whatever, right? Now, this brain of ours is very, very powerful, and God gave us a thing called common sense. We're so used to reading things, and if the majority believe it, then we say, I'm going with that. We need to start taking accountability for what's good for us. What's
Right.
good for me doesn't always work for you.
Of course.
What's works for you doesn't always work for me. What's big to me is small for you. What's small to you is big for me. We need to start looking at us and understand that we as an individual, how we operate. You might work great in the night. I might work great in the morning. There is not one
It doesn't
way.
make you lazy.
It doesn't. Do you know what I mean? There's some people that can do assignments in the night, and there's some people that can do assignments in the morning. There's 9 ways to skin a cat. I feel like now we're all in tune in one way. Everyone thinks that there's one way to live this life, and we all must do it.
And the success only looks one way.
No, not at all.
When you have the car, like, I see this on social media all the time, and it irks me because it's like, got the big house, got this,
Yeah.
and I'm only 25.
Yeah, what does that mean though? Because the thing is, are you
So
happy
you've got
though?
30-year-old somewhere thinking,
That
I
I'm
need to go and
failing.
find sugar daddy.
Yeah.
Or I need to perhaps go back to the streets.
Yeah.
I need to go and put my life on the line.
Let me anyone that does think that on your platform, as you know, I'm a life coach. 80% of my clients are well off. They're you know, I can say on here they got a lot of money. They're the most unhappiest people. Yeah, these people, I'm talking top clients that they've got that money that you do not see, right? I coached in Dubai, by the way, some sheikhs. Yeah, some of my clients were sheikhs. You know, they're well off. We're talking infinity money, right? They're the most unhappiest people because they are so poor. All they have is money. Do you see it? Like, don't let that go past what I just said to you. They are so poor because all they have is money. You know, so money is deemed as rich, right?
Please, Bohobium.
They are so poor because all they have is money. Do you know what I mean? We believe rich is the money. Rich is here and here. If you got peace of mind, you're the richest person on the planet. If you got a good heart, a good soul, and people are infectious around you, people want to be around you organically.
But that's not on trend right now.
This is it though. Why are we following trends?
This is how
That's the main thing.
our generation. I don't know if it's the topic is so good. My earring crumple has come off. Like, I don't know if it's a blessing or if it's a curse. This generation. Nigerian people will say we over sabi. Ghanaian people will say yeah, you too know.
Yeah. It should be-
And it's going against us in a lot of
we're all
ways.
trying to fit in. We're all trying to fit in, and that could be down to lack of identity. It could be a trauma. It could be so many things. But the reality is, we just need to be us. There's a famous saying I say, and it's be yourself because everyone else is taken. You know, there's only going to be one Dorinda. There's only going to be one Ray. You know, you look at Henry VIII when we studied it in school. He's called Henry VIII for a reason because there's been
There were seven before
him. You know, he can't just come and say I'm Henry I. Henry I has come and gone. It's the same with us. Be yourself because everyone else is taken. You can only be Dorinda. So my thing is, if we know
Patch on me a desire, right?
desire,
The ring that there's for family.
right, you know,
That's my
there can
government
only
name.
be one desire. You know, whether you want to read as much as we do or whatever, you're only going to be you. So the sooner we understand that I'm only going to be myself, the better for us, because then it comes back to your question, how we pick and choose culture. Not everything we read or not everything that is told to us, we need to just believe it straight away. Use your common sense. Culture's amazing. I'm Ghanaian. I learnt the language. That's how much I love it. I go back every year. But it doesn't mean everything in our culture is correct. You look at an example. Our culture tells us, if you, Dorinda, who's a lovely person, Desire is a lovely person, right, and you're a good-hearted person, our culture will tell me if you are a Ashanti, for example, you can't marry an Ewe. That's culture, apparently. But is that right? No, you're a lovely person. Why does where you're from
determine what a good wife you're going to be?
Do you know what I mean? There's many people that are marrying into the same culture, but they're depressed. They're unhappy. When there's someone that would be a different culture, like an Ewe, that can make you happy. So my thing is, pick and choose with common sense what parts of culture you want to pick from, you know, because that for me, that's my culture. I'm Ashanti. Does that mean I have to stick with Ashanti? I can say, do you know what, that's a bit hasty. But then there's other parts to the culture. For example, the community that we have. It's incredible. You know, the fact that we're all proud to be where we're from. The way we're lovely people. We're humble. There's them parts that you take. So my advice would be to you and your cohort of people that's watching is use common sense with your life. Do you know what I'm saying? Use common sense with your life. Pick good and understand bad. Don't just copy and do things just because it's told to you. Because not everything that's said or that we read is right for us. It's right for the masses. It's clothes. You are a girl. Marks and Spencer, for example, they will tell you on an average that the dress is from the size 16 to 18.
Yeah.
But they've done that on an average of, let's just say, a lot of white girls.
Yeah.
But then you Desire will try it on, it don't fit you.
Yeah.
Because they tried it on the masses, but it don't fit you. That's how life is. Culture's on the masses, but it might not fit you. So you got to look at it and say, okay, the masses is saying this, but how does it look for me? How does this dress fit me? Even though it says, because remember they do it by ages. You got a son, so Adams will say your son being 1 or 2, this will fit him. He will try it on. It'll
My
be
son
too
is
small.
1. He wears 3-year-old.
Right.
Because his dad is so tall. This
Do
boy.
you see it? But Marks and
he's so
Spencer
tall.
or Adams will say your son should fit from age 1 to 2 because they've tried it on about 100 white kids or Filipino kids or whatever, but it don't fit your child. So that's how we have to treat life. Yes, the masses say that this is culture, that's right, that's wrong, but you got to look at life away from the masses and see it as, how is this going to work for me? Because I am only me. I got to adapt my clothing around me. I got to buy what's good for me. I got to think what's good for me. I got to read what's good for me. Individuality. Once we understand ourselves and we can love ourselves, we can then understand the routes to take for ourselves. Yeah, I feel like...
Guys, I don't even want the show to end. I don't want the show to end, but we are so we're so late. We've gone over. Listen, we've gone over only by 10 minutes.
Right.
Please just give us a little bit. I know you're very busy, but listen, it's I mean the comments. Liziane is saying yes, we need Liziane. No, that was Rosie. She's saying yes, we need more. Eva's back, great show. We've got, oh my God, yes, we've got come back and we need to hear it. We've got preach, we've got clapping. I mean, it is just amazing. But everything that you're talking as well, as much as it's the individual. Me obviously being a mum.
Right.
What I'm also hearing and what I'm picking up for me is, I mean, at the moment I only have 1 child, but I'm hoping to have more.
God willing.
Is also, as a parent, understand that your children are different.
Facts, 100%.
And I feel like it goes back to the whole identity and us seeing, and feeling like we are being seen, because that also ties into the confidence and it ties into how we see ourselves and how we relate to the outside world. Because for me, growing up, everybody will say, "Oh, you're so confident, you're so this." I've never been the hottest girl in the room. I mean, I've never had the 6-pack or whatever.
Right.
But I am okay with me.
Yeah, comfortable in your skin.
My mum used to always say, in our language, you can't follow your friends because they all have dads.
Right.
What's it called? Obviously, my dad passed when I was very young.
Right.
And my mum was which she will always remind me. It goes back to what you said. You see Billy, Terry, all of these people, they've got the trainers, they've got the latest this, that, and you're sitting down asking yourself, my mum works. Where's her money going? Does she not love me?
Right.
But she will always say, they have mommy and daddy, you only have me.
Yeah.
So
you understood your dynamics.
Do you understand?
100%.
So, we will come back after this break. I'm even parched. I need to drink some water so that when we come back, just don't leave because the comments. But when we come back here, we're going to talk about, what big and sorry. We're on a show. We're being professional, D. What Ray does. And how far he's gone with the life coaching. Do you guys agree with life coaches? Do you think it's worth it, or do you think it's just another fad? Stay put. Back to the show. You are tuned in to the 3D show with myself, Desire, and I am, of course, joined in the studio by Ray Safer. Girls, if you want to get in, just slide into his DMs and tell, hey, Big M, pay me later. So just before the show, we were of course talking about all the all the trauma and, you know, his journey. And listen, this dude is filled with so much wisdom, yeah?
Humble.
So just before we go, please, your life coaching, can we afford, because you said you've been working with sheikhs and hey, you're getting money, oh.
We try.
Please buy me expensive earring while
When
like
you're
this
ready.
one, you see, it keeps falling off. Oh,
When you're ready.
please. So how does it work? How does someone seek your services?
Right.
Where do they seek it? How much does it cost?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My socials is my name, Ray Sifa. None of this.
Hey, Sefana Jai Sifa. Hey, more slangy.
Ray Sifa. Yeah, it's, my socials are my name. And you just DM me. If you have my contacts, hit me up. I'll do a consultation with you, just to kind of get a rough idea of what you're struggling with, what you need help with. And it's not even all the time struggling. Some people ain't struggling, they just want to maintain where they're at. So yeah, hit me up, we have a consultation. I get to know you get to know me, build that little rapport, that little trust, and then we take it from there.
Is that paid for? You have
No,
to
the
pay?
consultation is free.
Okay.
Of course. Yeah, my prices are okay.
Yeah.
My prices are fair.
Hey.
Yeah.
With the sheikh level, and now you
No,
come
of
to
course,
South London
of course.
level.
I'm a human. I'm a human. And we're in testing times right now.
Very testing
So,
times.
yeah, I'm very
Please, my
delicate.
earrings keep falling. They're testing me, man. They're testing me. Ladies, it's only for consultation. Let's not be sliding in DMs talking about any other thing, because me, I'll come and look for you.
Right.
So, you know, can you tell us, like, you know, examples of obviously like people you've worked with and how like the impact and
Right.
changes that's happening in their lives?
Sure. A lot of I'll use an example. If you came to me and you're a female, a lot of females struggle with like self-love, you know, a lot of insecurities that could be from partners, that could be from traumas, that could be from past, that could be from having children, understanding like why am I struggling to help my child, whatever. So if I did have that, just hindsight, I would help that person understand themselves, how they work, because as I was mentioning to you before, some people think that life is this way and they have to abide it by this way. I let them understand how it works for them. So if they are a morning person, their routine, what works for them, what doesn't,
Right.
their structure. You know, a lot of people don't have a routine. They just get up and live life. But as you know, if you have no preparation, how are you going to succeed? So I help people understand the preparation that helps them. You know, not a preparation that's going to help 20 other people,
Yeah.
but this specifically to them, what routine works for them, and what timetables work for them, if they need sleep, if they need water, if they need to be more of a planner. You might be someone who's forgetful. You might need to write things down more. You know, you might be someone that isn't forgetful, or you need to do, you know how to do the theory, but you struggle on the practical, for example. So I literally figure out, we play a game basically. Well, I play the game because I'm the life coach. I ask you questions about your life and I pick at it unconsciously and I build a template that you can slot into that helps better your life.
Right.
But we'll do it together. I'll give you all the gems, but you will practically do it.
Yeah.
And then the benefits will obviously you just understanding you. Now, the important thing is when you understand you is, you said you're a mother, and a lot of people say, oh, my pride and joy is my child. But you don't realize that if you ain't 100%, there's no chance that you're going to help your child.
Of course.
You know, I use an example. You might plug your phone in the wall. I might say to you, Dorinda, let me use your phone charger. Naturally, because you're a nice person, you're going to say, yeah, Ray, take my phone charger. But you're not going to realize that your phone's on 13%. I use your phone, I charge it, I'm on 100, I walk away, I go. The time I'll give you back your charger, your 13% is now dead. So you helped me, and I'm on fully charged, but now you're dead. And that's a lot of us as lives. We're busy helping so many people that we don't help ourselves. So then when we help other people, we're now on flat. And that's with mothers, that's with whatever. We're busy helping our children, but we don't realize it's better to help somebody when you're on 100% rather than helping someone when you're on 13%.
But then, doesn't religion and our morals and basically everything that we've been taught
Right.
tell us that?
Right.
Help your neighbor, help this,
Right.
help that. So a lot of people are now living with guilt because they struggle to put themselves first. Not me.
Yeah, I'm going to generically touch on that because I don't know your view is religion, right? Now, I wouldn't call myself a Christian, but my doctrine that I read is the Bible, right? The Bible is an incredible book. So is the Quran and so is the Torah. And they have one thing in common. They tell you that, you know, God is great and God is all of these things, right? Have faith. But it also tells you don't be stupid and don't be a fool. You know, this is the biblical words, this is the Quran's words, whatever. It says it clearly. Praying to God and having faith is one thing, but you have to not be a fool. I mean, in terms of use common sense and have balance. Help someone, of course, but not detriment to yourself. Does that make sense?
But even the Bible says love your neighbor as you love yourself. Therefore, you have to love yourself first
before you can even give that help.
And this is why I always say I'm probably the most selfish person you will come across, because I always operate from the point of, before I can give you my best, I have to make sure I have the best.
100%.
But a lot of people are so defensive when they hear this. And it's like, I feel like we have a lot of unlearning to do.
Do you know what it is? It's the stigma of wording. When you mention the word selfish, naturally as humans we go to the negative side of selfish, which is people that are stingy, people that don't like to spend money, people that care about themselves in terms of like materialistic, like no one comes in my car, all of that. There's two sides of selfish though. There's a selfish that is a very positive selfish, where it's I'm looking after myself, I'm looking after my mental state. You know, for example, with me, if I'm having a bad day, I'm a life coach, right? I have to be positive because I help people be positive. If I'm having a bad day, something's happened, family death, one of my children's been ill or something like that, right? I'm not going to do my job that day because it is selfish for me to do that. Because how am I going to project positivity on someone when I'm not? Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like the selfish side, the positive side to selfish is like you're just looking after yourself. A lot of us are trying to toddle on in life, but we're not happy with ourselves, but we're trying to give advice to people. But it don't make sense. Or we're trying to help
empty.
People. It don't make no sense.
I always tell people, you have to, advice is good, but you always have to be wary of where the advice is coming from. Because especially, you know, when it comes to relationships and all these things, and when it comes to marriage, I mean, I'm going through a very tumultuous time in my marriage at the moment. And, you know, I have a whole lot of people advising me and, you know, do this and do that and do this and do that. And it's like, I get you're coming from a good, place. Like, you know, place. But what's your story?
Right.
What? Like, where are you coming from? Because I don't want to say the wrong things, but you know, a lot of the times we advise from our experience. So you have to be very sensitive to that when you're listening to these advice, and then it comes back to what you said. Tailor it to you.
Of course.
It might be good advice.
It might not work.
But does it work for your situation?
There's some people that my life coaching might not work for them, and I'm cool with that because it's that real, you know. But the best way for you to understand what I'm saying about the whole helping yourself, right? If you've got a full tank of petrol and 5 of your friends say drop me home, you're more inclined to say, yeah, I'll drop you guys home, right? Now, if you have a car that's on R, it's dying, like it's on red, you know, when your petrol light's low. If your 5 friends say, can you drop me home? Even if you want to, you can't because you're on reserve, right? That's life. When you're on full tank, you're more inclined to help more people. When you're on reserve, you can still help them, but you might conk out on the way. I might drop 3 of those people home. The 2 remaining, I might pass out.
And then you can't get home.
I can't get home. Whereas if I'm on full tank, I can drop all 5 and I can still get home. That's how we need to treat our lives. Help with common sense. Help when you're not on reserve, because you might conk out on when you've helped everybody else. Help when you're on full tank, and that's when you love yourself. You know, that's with children as well. You want to be the greatest mum, I'm assuming, and everyone wants to be the greatest dad as well. But do it when you're on 100. You know, don't be out here giving to your husband, your wife, your children when you ain't got nothing.
This is it.
You give a better product when you are wholesome. When you love yourself, you can project more love. A lot of people in relationships, they don't love themselves, but they're expecting their partner to love them. It don't make no sense.
I don't feel good about myself, so it's your responsibility to tell me I'm pretty. Do you think of the pressure that you're putting on the person?
And the person can turn around and say, if you don't know how to make yourself happy, how am I meant to make yourself happy? I'm not a mind reader, you know? Happiness can never be based on 3 things. Anything that breaks, anything that dies, and anything that expires. The reason being is because them 3 things, if they break, expire, or die, your happiness dies with it.
Exactly.
Your happiness has to become a mindset. It has to be internal from you. I use an example. You've got a kid and may touch wood, nothing will happen to him. But a lot of people, when I ask them, what's your happiness? They say their children. They say like their dream house or their dream car, or they say their spouse, their partner, right? And I told them this. There is mothers who have children. The 9 months pregnancy, the baby comes out and it's a stillborn. It's real. We can say, God forbid, we could do whatever, but it happens daily. It's happening, There's ectopic pregnancies, there's stillborns. There's some parents that have the child, and then the child dies within the 3 months of cot death. You know, there's parents who their children die at 15 through knife crime. Now, if that parent, their happiness was the child, what happens to your happiness when the child dies? It goes with it.
Yeah.
Then we go on to the other one I said about materialistic things. Old people retire. Their pride and joy is their car they buy. They buy like a nice Rolls Royce or whatever to retire with. Now imagine that's your happiness, and on the A406 someone takes out your Rolls Royce. What happens to your happiness? It goes
gone.
with it.
Yeah.
Partners. Oh, my husband's my pride and joy, he's my happiness. Do you know that there's 60% of relationships, the partner wakes up and says, I don't love you no more. It happens.
Amen.
It's not through cheating. It's not through all the... Sometimes someone just says, I am not in love with you no more. It happens so often. Now, if that is your happiness, when your partner tells you that, it's the end of your world. And that's where mental health kicks in. And that's why you've seen a lot of people, because them 3 things I mentioned are the common things that make people happy, supposedly.
Yeah.
It's wrong. Whoever's selling these people these dreams that kid's gonna make you happy, a house is gonna make you happy, a car's gonna make, or a partner, that's what's making our equilibrium go down. Because when them things disappoint us, or they die, expire, or break, our equilibrium goes down.
Yeah.
So now if you believe your mindset internally is happy, none of them things there can, you know, you're not latching onto them. You know, it don't take a man to make you happy because I'm already good. He's an addition to me. I'm already happy. He's just here to make me happier. You know, a child will make you happier, a car will make you happier, and a partner will make you happier. But happy comes from you.
Comes from you.
Only you. You know, no one or thing can make you happy. It comes from you. And until we start understanding that, mental health is going to keep going on the high. Breakups are going to keep going on the high because we're dependent on things and people to come and make us happy. We're failing
And it
already.
puts too much pressure on them.
And it's not real.
Yes.
It's not real. We're chasing something that is not real. Happiness is not a thing. Happiness is not an object. It's an internal mindset in our internal self. So we have to start understanding this, that my mum and your mum probably says, Ghanaians say often, life is how you make it.
Life is how you make it.
Do you know what I mean? No one or no thing is going to come and make your life. It's you. And that's the same way happiness comes through. It is in you. No person is going to come and uplift the render. Even me as a life coach, and I tell all my clients this, I'm here to help you. I'm not gonna make you.
Yeah.
You have to do it yourself. I can take you to the water. You have to drink though.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the main thing what I was talking about of like love yourself, give yourself the energy. Once that's equipped, then you can help others.
Yeah.
That's when you can give advice to others. If I'm not happy, I would stop doing life coaching because I'm lying to my people.
Yeah.
I only do what I do because I've understood that I'm in a good space mentally to understand that I'm happy. And it's not because of a thing or a person. I'm okay within myself being, and of course my creator, of course, you know. But that's away from religion, the normal side. I'm good as a person because I believe in myself and I love myself.
That's it. Thank you for coming on the show.
No sweat.
I feel like we can go on the whole night.
No sweat.
But I have my happy hour waiting for me
Right,
at home.
right.
My baby boy. But you know, it's just been and I'm lost for words, honestly, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Of course, you are tuned into the 3D show with myself, Desire, and I mean, we've been blessed to have Ray Sifa
No, thank
with
you.
us.
It's been a pleasure.
Just before we go and we round up, anything that you've got to say to your audience?
Yeah.
Just before we go.
I'll leave them with one thing. Our lifespans are usually from 0 to 80. You know, if you're lucky, some live to 100. But let's be honest, it's about 0 to 80. You only get one shot at this thing. Of course, if you're religious, you think
Please,
you're
that's
gonna.
your camera. Talk to them.
Oh, there. Yeah, you only get one shot at this thing called life. Obviously, of course, if you're religious, you think of an afterlife, but that's not guaranteed, right? One thing is guaranteed is this one. Don't spend 0 to 80 trying to copy other people, because I promise you, when you get older and you're on your deathbed, you'll look back and think, me trying to copy this person that took me all of these years, I wasted time. How old you are today, as present as you're hearing me, just do you. Make the mistakes. They're not mistakes, they're lessons. Fail is absolutely fine. As long as you're being authentic and you're being yourself, it's never a mistake. It's always a lesson. So just do you and do what's good for you. That's it, really. I don't want to.
Wow.
There's nothing else to it. Just do you.
I feel like that's enough for the right ear listening. Thank you once again for coming on the show, guys. It's been amazing. It's been breathtaking, taking in all these words of wisdom. You know, I hope you have been blessed as usual, as I have been. I apologize again for going over the time, but trust me, it's definitely worth it. Have a wonderful week. Keep safe. Wear your mask when you can. Keep your distance. Hand sanitize. Wash your hands, and all of the good stuff. I'm drunk on just motivation and just good vibes.
Yeah.
Honestly, thank you once again for tuning in.
Thank you.
I will see you next week. Same time, same place. Follow us on all social media, Ntitiapa TV. You can follow me personally on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, Desire Danso. And then you can also follow Ray as well on Ray Safer as well on all social platforms. Please don't feel free to DM him if you need help, if you're going through something, and get the help that you need, get the pickup that you need as well. Thank you to Oba's Place for my lovely wig. I'm still my barber's actually in the studio, so I'm gonna see if I can get a haircut before next week. But of course, I'm always procrastinating. So after today, Ray will help me get over that. Guys, have a wonderful week. Stay safe, stay blessed, and good night.
Good night. God bless.